Not sure what's happening. Oh,
It is. It's happened.
You were muted.
that's weird because on my screen, the intro is still playing. But
The intro ended a while ago. I suggest you start talking about matters.
We're live.
We're live. Welcome to On the Sofa. We're back after the summer recess, and not only do we have a new prime minister, but we also have a new king. Oh, I don't know. Hang on.
Stool. I wasn't kidding about my sword either. Hi, Sinise. How are you?
Okay, waving around pointy objects. And I wasn't invited.
Swords are cool because you can do this.
Anyway,
just before we start, you can, if you want to support the stream, you can by becoming a patron, and your name will be added to the list that's scrolling along the bottom there. And I just want to give a shout out to my $5 patron, Greg Hartwig, and my $1 patron, African Humanist.
Yay!
And you can also support me directly by buying me a cup of coffee, or you could buy my book. And the links are in the description. So, and I'm going to try and remember to plug this stuff because I always forget. I normally forget to plug.
What are we going to do with you, Mike?
I know.
If you put your link in, I'll totally buy your book.
Yeah, the link's in the description.
Awesome.
Surviving 2020.
Awesome.
I've read it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you could read.
Oh, I have a quick announcement to make.
Go on.
Now that the Queen has passed, I am officially the King of Los Angeles, and I named Isaiah is now the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And we had a ceremony. He slapped me. He's officially the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carry on.
Because that is totally how it works.
Yeah.
Basically, if you have any questions about the monarchy, Mike, I'm the Nicholas Witchell of this stream. Okay.
Okay. Good.
No, it's not good. It's not good.
My first question is, what happened to Charles I?
He got beheaded. He got beheaded.
He had a little accident.
We didn't have a monarchy for 2 years, but then we wanted to have a king again. So his son Charles II became king. And
I've been Googling like a crazy person.
He loved to party. He loved to party and drink lots of booze and snort lots of cocaine and stuff like that. And he was very popular. He was a very popular king. And but anyway, so now we've got King Charles III. So there you go.
Wow.
Still takes a bit of getting used to. It is weird, isn't it, Mike? Because we've spent all our lives talking about the Queen.
Yes.
And now we've got to learn the new words and the new terms. So we've got a new king who we're all going to keep calling Prince Charles for a while.
Absolutely.
Until we get used to it.
I love watching the news to count how many people still call him Prince Charles.
Oh, it's very funny. I listen to the news and
Absolutely.
the professional newsreader will say, Prince Charles, King Charles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've now got, they've all got their new titles, haven't they? So we've now got a new Prince and Princess of Wales.
Yes.
That has upset a lot of the fans of the royals because Princess of Wales, well, that has connotations. They still can't get over the fact that Diana died 30 years ago, the sad little bastards. But there you go.
Yeah.
It's sad but true.
What's going to change?
I said this before the show started. The uniforms that King Charles was wearing, they look like they were in Robotech. Those black uniforms, I already feel a change.
I'm not
Everything's changed.
with that guy. He and his hockey team were drinking in the hallway and being assholes when they were here. Anyway,
Hockey players are not nice, but the whole teeth grinning and the
parents are worse.
But the whole teeth grinning and the hand waving, he's letting everyone know that he's the king.
I don't know, when you say what's going to change, what do you mean? Do you mean with the monarchy or other stuff?
The currency is going to change.
Oh yeah, but that's going to take decades.
The stamps are going to change.
Unlike what a lot of British people think, and Americans, of course, it's not going to. They're not going to take all our money and overnight give us new money. That's not how it happens.
That's how that's never happened before.
That's not a thing. No.
So, and tomato ketchup is going to change.
Oh, that's a good point. Hey, I didn't think about that, Mike. Well done.
Heinz tomato ketchup. And
excuse me, all your armed services are now his. Well, no, it's still HMS, isn't it?
You've hit on a very important little matter there, Mike. I hadn't thought about this important thing. All those things that we cherish and love to put on our butties and sandwiches, they're probably now going to have to sell their goods to the king.
Yeah,
he has to like them.
And
then they can print the seal on the label saying by appointment too, can't they?
Yeah.
All that will have to change. Well done, Mike. I'm proud of you.
Well, actually, I got that from TLDR News.
So I know this is from the 1970s, but is it improper to call him King Big Ears?
Just
a little bit.
Yeah. I know.
My question is, let's get into some British monarchy history here. You know how you know how Henry VIII referred to his, I believe it was his fourth wife, Anne of Cleves, as the Flanders mare. So, in keeping with that tradition, can we call Camilla Queen Horseface?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
You can do that. I give you permission.
I didn't ask for your permission.
Yeah, but I'm duty bound to give permission because
shut up and shove it.
I'm literally now officially the owner of all the swans. So
last night I heard where was the Queen? Where is she right now? Where people are walking past her?
Westminster Hall.
Okay.
And I have a fun story about that one.
Last night, Kay Burley asked one of the groundskeepers. He went in the rafter. I still love Kay Burley.
I know.
But she asked one of the caretakers that he went in the rafters, and she asked him, she's like, "Did you find any of Henry VIII's tennis balls?" And I thought that was hilarious. I would be in there just.
I'd like to know if anybody found Stool's little freaking ball-bearing bowls.
Still looking.
Yeah, they didn't process, did they?
I love the history behind it. It's a lot of pomp and circumstance for an American.
The history, Will, is absolutely fascinating. You know that hall that you're talking about now, Westminster Hall, and the weirdo American here mentioned Henry VIII. Well, Henry VIII was the last king that lived in that place because that used to be where the monarch lived.
Wow.
And that was in 1536. So, yes, we have a long history in this country. And there was a fire and he had to move out. And since then, no monarch has lived there.
I have a question in etiquette for the Brits.
Can I do part 2 of my thing, please, Will?
Please.
This will totally get you hard right now.
Okay.
Right.
I'm at a semi.
1536, that was the last time any monarch that was their residence. Okay. In 1965, one of the Queen's first clever things she did, because they owned that building, the monarchy owned that building in which the Houses of Commons and the House of Lords reside. It was owned by the monarchy. And she went to the Prime Minister, Churchill, and suggested, because that's all she can do, she has no powers, she suggested, this isn't right because the monarchy should not own this building. because this is the home of the democratically elected government. The monarchy should not own this. Can we arrange it so that we give it back? Churchill agreed,
You like my little backdrop here?
and she gave it up.
Yeah.
I'm at work because of course I am. I put in a request to only do AM shifts on Thursdays from here on out, which is totally unlike me. But yeah, so that way I don't have to remote in from work. Hopefully my 9-year-old nephew will stay out of the stream.
I have a question about etiquette, and I love you, Chinese. I have a question. Is it wrong to scream at Prince Andrew?
I know where you're going with this.
No, I'm not even.
No,
trying
where?
to
No, I want to know
I-
where still think you're going with this.
because like so
This one annoys me, and I got in trouble for having an opinion about it.
because that guy got beat up by the cop. That's America style. How they grabbed him.
Did not. That's not a thing that happened. It really isn't.
But they
There
had
is so
footage
much.
of-
There
of
is
how
so
the-
much. No, there is really so much bullshit being spread. You can look at a video clip. You need context. It's not.
No, I
that's-
agree with that. I agree. Life is context. That's why I'm asking the question.
So the answer to your question is no. You are perfectly free to walk outside your house, stark naked, holding a sign saying Prince Andrew is a nonce. It's not a crime to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a crime to wait a minute, walking outside your house stark naked, shouldn't that be a crime anyway? Don't you have indecent exposure laws over
Not
there?
where I live. Not where I live.
Nobody asked you.
But he was arrested for disturbing the peace.
He was also you're neglecting the important part, because
Go on.
being arrested is not the bigger deal that a lot of people think it is. It can be a
I got
temporary
arrested
thing, and
recently, guys.
he was de-arrested quickly. So
Yeah.
I got
being
arrested
I did
being
see that.
arrested doesn't mean you're a criminal.
Yes, there's a difference between being detained and arrested.
If you're
I was actually arrested. So you guys ready for the story?
go on.
So I had been doing copious amounts of drugs and was way too tired to drive. And Matt was driving, and we were dropping our friend's son off at school. And I was like in and out of sleep in the front seat of the car, because it's my car, obviously I'm going to sit in front. And we get pulled over by the New Jersey State Troopers. The State Troopers run Matt's license and my registration and insurance. I give them my license because they're like, oh, who's the registered owner of the car? I'm like, me, bitch. I'm too tired to drive. So I give the idiot cop, my license, everything. So then he pulls our friend out of the car. One moment.
The whole reason I bring up the whole Prince Andrew thing is because doesn't he put everybody in a weird position? And I have another question. When the king leaves town, Prince Andrew is the one who signs all the checks, right?
Yes.
I'm
We're
just
gonna-
asking for
we're gonna
controversy's
talk
sake.
about that. We're going to touch on that later, I think.
Okay. These are just questions from an American, Because I have a creepy uncle and like he's not even allowed to come around.
Oh.
Let alone walk with us.
Oh, I see.
So
It's
I'm out of practice because Mike is a slacker, and he's been
All right, I'm back.
neglecting
So
his
can I continue
sofa
the story?
duties for a long time.
Can we continue the Chinese in jail story?
Yeah,
So-
okay.
Anyway, so first the cop pulls our friend out of the car. Asks a bunch of bullshit questions. Pulls me out of the car. Asks a bunch of bullshit questions. And tried to lie to me and say that Matt was a known drug dealer and he had been popped for a bunch of pill offenses. And I said, motherfucker, I've been with this man for about 4 months. I've known him for 10 years. The only thing he's ever done is smoke weed and drink. So you can fuck off with that. Because I'm an asshole. They coerced me into signing a consent to search and still bring out the K9. Lied and said the K9 got a hit so they could search my car, found a small jar containing some of Josh's parents' ashes, and I am now facing a 3rd-degree heroin possession charge. So I'm looking at a felony if I don't fight this. And I spent about 4 hours in a holding cell because fuck me.
Well, if you make you feel any better, where I live, you would have spent 2 weeks in jail.
Yeah, at least I still made it to work that day. I also got fired from, and oh my god, I think I sent the link to this. I think I sent like this channel to my old boss at Days In. So I hope she's watching this. Fuck you if you're watching this, Danielle. Days In fired me and lied about why. They claimed they got a bunch of bad reviews that named me personally. Yeah, no, they didn't. A simple Google search proves it. And that's why I'm now sales coordinator at Hampton Inn. Now to answer the phone.
Okay, then.
So can I, before you continue with your very well thought out and planned stream, Mike?
Yes. Yeah.
Can we ask our host a question, please?
Yes.
Are you, which camp are you in? Are you in the "this is all shit, stop doing it," or are you in the "it's kind of okay, it isn't really affecting my life"?
At first I was in the
Answer honestly.
At first I was in the "it's kind of okay, it's not affecting my life" camp, but now I'm in "this is shit, can we stop doing this please" camp.
I haven't gone on Twitter in like 4 or 5 days because of the grief porn.
Yes,
it's in everything, in every feed. It's apparently I know every person in England.
I realized yesterday that all because of computer problems, all my settings are messed up and my audio was messed up. And so hurriedly, I tried to fix that so I could join this because I do enjoy Mike's sofa. Sounded weird, but it's true. And OBS is completely bogged. And I had a lovely little ident, a lovely graphic that I could have, that should be on my cam now. And it's the Pornhub logo, but it says Mournhub. I think that's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Why is Prince Andrew allowed to do anything?
good question.
Because wasn't he with Epstein? Like what? Why are we permitting this?
I know it's and it's
Look at him! You can
terrible.
even see the guilt in his eyes.
But this is the story that Will was alluding to earlier, and the Prince Andrew has been made the Councillor of State.
Oh my God!
Which basically means he's going to stand in for King Charles when he's too ill or otherwise engaged or whatever. He's going to stand in for him, and I think the royal family are trying to slowly but surely ease him back into royal
Who is Uncle
life.
Beck, and why was he blocked? What happened?
I disagree.
Go on.
I disagree. You asked earlier, what changes will there be?
Yeah.
And of course, you went for the number one important thing, HP sauce, or tomato ketchup. I was thinking a little bit more grown up about this, but you do you.
Stool, you're not capable of thinking like a grown up, and we know it. So this is what you're doing, and this is what we need you to do.
So I disagree with what you said there, Mike, because King Charles, like his dad, thought that the whole let's all have these tens and tens of people who are royals, he thought it was very silly and stupid. And so he wants to totally trim it down so that you've just got the kind of key players. The king or queen, the son or daughter, really cut down drastically. So I do disagree with you that they're wanting to bring him back into the fold. I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen.
Okay.
It looks like it though. And technically, if the let's say the king came to America, does that mean Andrew gets to if something happened, would Andrew get to make decisions?
Andrew has no potential way to have any kind of what you said decisions. They don't make decisions, Will. I know it's hard for Americans to understand,
It
but
is.
they have
It is.
no power whatsoever. Okay, they literally have no power. That's
Why are we looking
all.
at feet? They're ugly.
This goes back, as Mike knows, back to 1530, whatever year it was.
Mhm.
They gave their power to Parliament. All the things that you see in here, that's just ceremony. It's,
Yeah.
traditional stuff. They have zero power whatsoever.
So when they have all those medals on their uniforms, are they like North Korean generals?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that thing.
We're not a fan of you. What's your point?
No,
But
no,
again,
I'm trying to be nice. I'm
it's-
trying to be respectful.
A
Being
lot of
nice
the
to school is
traditions,
counterproductive.
a lot of the tradition, tradition is both a good and bad thing. So a lot of the traditions to outsiders about the monarchy, they look incredibly silly. But don't worry,
You
because
look
they also
incredibly
look silly to us. But that's just how traditions work. Doesn't mean they have any kind of actual power,
It was cool watching all the guns go off.
That was fun. Hey,
Yeah.
did you slight tangent? I joined Purple's stream yesterday, and because my audio was screwed.
Now, Will. I see that look.
Because
Y'all
my
see my
audio
glasses
was
off.
screwed.
Okay.
Will,
that's
you
a-
had a look on and your glasses didn't hide it.
All right, because my audio was screwed and all my settings were wrong, people could hear what I was hearing here. Now that's usually not how it should happen because I have all kinds of fancy stuff going on. They could hear the bells, the church bells, chiming.
Already
And
nobody.
it was driving me insane because it went on, I think, for about 3 or 4 hours. Non-stop church bells.
Mm.
That was weird.
Yeah.
To be fair, I lived in Mexico and they obsessively ring the church bells there as well.
This one was very weird though, because I don't know if you have a church near to where you are, Mike, but you tend to not hear them. Well, you don't hear them very often anyway, do you?
No.
But every now and again they'll do their thing. But this one went on for, I think, 4 hours, and it was not annoying per se, but weird.
You know what's annoying?
I wish I didn't have to pay taxes. That's what makes me so angry around a certain time of year. The amount of money that I give back to my country.
This is complete nonsense, but I'll let you carry on.
You guys know what else is annoying? Stool.
So,
But technically, aren't they wards to the state? Like, aren't they property? Or is it vice versa?
Willie's kind of okay on that
Hi,
one
Nerdy Rodent.
because they're using the word inheritance as if he's inherited all this mass fortune. That is not the case. It's not true at all. I tried to
Okay.
explain this yesterday. I'm not standing up for these people, but I don't like the bullshit that is spread. And if you want to be against a monarchy, that's fine, but use facts, not fiction. Don't bring Daily Mail to me.
well, this is
I could
Sky
say
News,
something really
actually.
horrible, and I'm not going to. But ask a 1917 Kenyan. Oh, that's right. They're not around. Ask a 1950s Kenyan. Oh, that's right. They're not around. But I'm going to be respectful and nice.
So what's the truth of the matter then, Stool? What's happening?
I think Will, actually, surprisingly, is the guy we need to go to when we're looking for how the UK works, because he's very clued up. So a lot of what people are saying King Charles has inherited. He hasn't.
Exactly. Not any of it.
He really hasn't. It's not theirs. They don't actually own it.
Sorry,
We
Matt.
own it.
Mm.
All
But
it means is that on a piece of
The
paper,
only thing you
he's
own
in
is the
charge
only
of
thing
it.
you own is a raggedy condom. Shut
But he
up.
gets some really cool clothes, awesome rings, awesome chair.
I could go for an awesome ring, but I don't think Matt and I have been dating long enough for all that.
Liz Truss for the worst curtsy of all time.
Yes.
I
Is there
didn't think
video
it was
of it?
po-
I haven't
didn't-
seen it. Is there video? I need the tea.
I didn't
I've
think it
been
was
very
po-
out of touch with this work nonsense and moving in with my sister.
I
Do you
can't.
Will and Mike, do you remember Thunderbirds?
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Liz Truss, I didn't think it was humanly possible. She grimaced and everything. It was. I was so embarrassed. I
Well,
was.
but like Liz Truss, wouldn't you grimace just knowing you exist?
No, but there's a certain way of showing respect. You know, I guess because I was raised Roman Catholic, give a quick like, and you're done. She
Yeah.
literally like cringed with her entire body.
Yes. Yeah,
It
she
was-
did. Yeah.
It was the-
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it was quite honestly the worst curtsy in human history.
how does one fail
Caught
to
up.
properly curtsy? All right, I'm intrigued. I share Artie's question. So who's gonna answer it?
Bowing, absolutely. Bowing,
Yeah.
bam. Respect, move on.
So did she like? What I mean, isn't that like something they teach you in school over there?
They taught
No.
us as children.
No, despite what you might think, because remember, you live in a country where you. Do you know what a Bellamy salute is?
A what?
Mike, do you know what a Bellamy salute is?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm going to do history now.
So do you know what shutting the fuck up is?
Has it got
Bellamy
anything to do with
salute is
David Bellamy?
basically this. It's like the Nazi Hitler salute.
All right.
Speaking of Nazis,
And which country adopted that form of salute? It was America. And they taught children at school to do it to the flag. They literally taught school children to do the Bellamy salute to the flag.
Well, to be fair, we were still doing hand over heart in my day.
hey guys,
That doesn't mean that just because there's evidence and photographic evidence of American school children doing this, doesn't mean they're Nazis. It means they were doing what was okay. It's the Bellamy salute. Look it up. So I've totally forgotten where I started with this thread, but you can't take things out of context.
Ah.
Hey,
A
guys,
photograph
speaking
does
of
not give you the
Nazis-
full story.
speaking of Nazis, the other day I got called a Nazi guard at work.
Okay.
So
It's okay.
apparently charging a $50 early check-in fee for anything before like 2:30 makes me a Nazi. I guess I better get my brown uniform.
I think one of the references I may have been alluding to, and I forget, Mike, but you're familiar with the famous photograph of Queen Elizabeth when she was 7 years old,
Yeah.
and she's doing what many people think is a Nazi salute. Now, admittedly,
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
yeah, it's quite a famous thing, and it gets brought out every now and again, especially now, because everybody says, "Oh, yeah, she's a Nazi," and I mean, it does get confusing because, admittedly, her uncle was a bit of a Nazi. That's
Yes.
true.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
He was a bit of a Nazi person. Yeah, doesn't mean she is.
No.
So I
True.
guess I've
True.
waffled on too much, but I guess the point is, a photograph is not a fucking proof of anything. It's just a fraction of a second in time. Context is key always. And if you want to have a problem with the monarchy, fine. I'm with you. I'm on your side. But bring facts, not bullshit. Don't bring
Okay.
Daily Mail bullshit. Bring facts.
Mel listed some crimes in the private chat for you.
Mel's here? Mel's here. Oh damn.
She was, but she had to take off.
I love Mel. If I had known that was her, I would have anyway.
I recently
Well,
purchased
yeah,
really
I
dark
think-
glasses because I don't like
I think-
people, and so I can't read the chat. So every once in a while, I'll take my glasses off. But to go back on track, your country's falling apart. You have a new monarchy. Well, no, the old monarchy. Change of guards, change of titles. Back to the original question: what's going to change? What's going to happen in the long run?
I think the answer is nobody's quite sure.
No, because in this entire conversation, we haven't got to the meat of this.
I think I gave you the meat.
Because while all this pomp and circumstance is going on, people in your country are starving, and they're not going to be able to turn their heaters on or afford to, the heat or eat. This winter.
Exactly, and that's a very good point. However, as Mike said, he cares about tomato ketchup. So we all have our own priorities here, and I now see what yours are, Mike.
I'm a shield wielding, sword swinging kind of guy.
If you want the answer, and I'm not a predictor of the future, the monarchy is going to change drastically. It will be cut down, slimlined, and made less silly.
Yeah.
It's not going to end. All these idiots who #abolish the monarchy grow up. That's not going to be a thing. Gradually, over the decades, maybe the centuries, it will fizzle away, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. What's going to change in my life or Mike's life apart from his ketchup? Nothing, not a damn thing. Because, and I keep trying to get this point across, they have no fucking relevance or importance whatsoever on anybody's day-to-day life. They really don't. We do not walk around bowing and curtsying and singing God things and all that shit. That's not what we are.
And that's another thing I have to ask. In all the hockey games now, we're going to have to learn how to sing God Save the King now. In hockey, they sing God Save the Queen, if you didn't know. Sorry.
No, I didn't. I did not know that. But it's just changing one word for another.
Artie does bring up a good point, because a lot of people who are very pro monarchy will say that the tourism money is a good thing, and it is a massive amount of money. That's true.
Honestly, it's what brought people like my family there in the 80s, in the 90s.
That isn't me saying, hey, we need a monarchy because tourism. I mean, that's not a very good reason, but it is true. And,
but like in
the opposite side of what Artie said, and I get in trouble for mentioning this one, because if they're bringing in so much money, you've got to ask yourselves, how much does it cost us? And Mike will know this damn well. I'm pretty sure it's listed on your, I don't know, your council tax bill or something. I think it's like 1 pence per year per person. It's absolutely nothing. So the idea that these people are funded by the taxpayer isn't entirely true. It really isn't. They generate their own income.
You would not consider them a bunch of dossers?
No, I really wouldn't, Will. They generate their own income, and the vast majority of that income, based on laws going back centuries, they have to give it back to us. They're only allowed to keep, I think it's 15% of any income they make. The rest of it goes to the government, which means back to us.
Yeah. How much do you really need when you live in a castle, though?
This is why I struggle talking to Americans about this.
I'm kidding.
I understand it, because to Americans, this is like Disney fantasy stuff.
You know who's to blame is the Crown, with that scene with Princess Diana with some roller skates on, chewing bubblegum, skating through the palace. So Americans think that they live there. I blame television, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
I blame
because there's a scene in The Crown, and I was watching it, and I'm like, this never happened. They would have never let her go with roller skates through
Just
ever.
36 minutes into, no, I'm really sorry, Mike. I do this all the time. Continue, please.
But apparently, up to 100 employees at the King's former official residence, including some who have worked there for decades, received notification that they could lose their jobs just as they were working round the clock to smooth his elevation to the throne. So he's going to make all these people redundant, apparently.
No, it doesn't say that.
They're making him to be the
It literally doesn't say that.
I just read that verbatim.
It goes back to those black uniforms. We are on the dark side of the mirror. King Charles has
could lose their jobs.
Could lose their jobs. Okay, y'all.
Yeah, but who wants to work under the threat?
Will lose their jobs.
Who wants to work under the threat of losing your job? No one.
Yeah, I get so wound up about this.
I'm
This is what our media does. I can't see
what losing my job. I didn't like it.
I can't see what we're referencing here from the newspaper. Oh, the Guardian. Well, again, you can take any rule and say to your readers, and this is what the Daily Mail do, that you can say, look, this could happen. Potentially, this could happen, but they tell it as if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I will bet you now, I don't know, I haven't got any of the King's new money, Mike, but I bet you 10 shiny King Charles pence that the people in that story are not going to lose their job.
I can't wait to turn him into Spock. I can't wait. Especially with those side shots, he's a perfect Vulcan.
If you want to see Vulcan-esque type things, you've got to look back to when he was, I forget how old, was he 12 or 15, Mike? I can't remember. When they did that really fucking monarchy thing and, you know, made him Prince of Wales at Carnarvon Castle. I mean, that is embarrassing to watch.
I was watching
If you want to see ears, watch that. If he went to a normal school, he would have been beaten up and had his head shoved down the toilet for having ears. just gonna say it.
Yeah.
I was watching the Are You Being Served when the episode during the coronation, and it made me laugh because it's so dated. That's why I brought up Big Ears, because they kept on calling him Big Ears. And I want to know, do people still call him Big Ears in your country?
Of course we do, because we don't get arrested for having opinions. So he's always been called.
No, you just get arrested for protesting, right?
To be fair, I'm going to tell you, like in LA, if you if you make enough of a stink and act crazy, you'll get arrested. So if you're
then because at that point it's people being a Karen.
Yeah, like they'll do the same thing to you in America if you act crazy.
Well, there's a difference between voicing an opinion, lawfully protesting, and acting a fool.
Where is that line, please?
I'd like
where the line is drawn. Unfortunately, seems highly dependent on circumstances.
Can you take 5 minutes out of your life to stop yelling? I found what you just said very interesting. Could you repeat that thing that you said? There is a line.
There is a line that you have to draw. Mm-hmm. Where to draw it depends on the circumstances.
Exactly.
Between, expressing an opinion, lawfully protesting, and acting a fool.
Correct.
Now there are certain things that happen where the line is always drawn, but most of it is circumstantial.
Correct. Absolutely. This is historic. This is
like
a monumental moment here because
historic.
I'm actually agreeing with that loudmouth fucking person, but she's correct.
Fuck you, asshole! I'm in a lobby with terrible acoustics.
You're absolutely you're 100% correct because where that line is drawn, that's where we can have disagreements and arguments.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's highly subjective. There are certain behaviors that automatically draw and cross the line. For example, looting, violence, etc. to a certain degree. You get past a certain level of violence. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for kicking Nazis in the head, but once you start breaking into stores and trying to steal ATMs, we have a problem.
I think the key thing that we've learned today from today's episode, Mike,
Yeah.
sounding like Sesame Street.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Today's episode of On the Sofa is brought to you by the letter
and the
What
number
letter?
3. But
By the-
this is
by
the letter,
this is
the letter
absolutely
G,
the thing
as in
that
go
I'm-
F yourself.
It's
and
absolutely
the
thing
and
that
the
I've been
number and the
trying
number
to get
69.
across. It's important that people understand context. The world is not black and white. Sorry, Will, our song is fucked. The world is not black and white. It's nuanced.
Yes.
Now,
absolutely.
I can go outside, as I've said before, I can go outside naked with a big sign saying, kill all the gays. Guess what? Not a crime. Now, if I was to go to somewhere like a pride parade and do that, well, guess what? The police are going to say,
Who let you in
probably
here?
don't want to do that.
Go away.
Yes.
What is that stupid hat? What is that stupid
I love
hat
your
you're wearing,
I
Grandpa?
absolutely love your hat.
I've had this hat longer than you've had a sex life. That's a long fucking time.
You know what's funny? I say that to people all the time. I'm like, kid, I got shirts
Yes.
older than you.
Yeah.
But my next
I-
question is: has the mourning gone too far?
Yeah.
Yes. It was 8 fucking days ago.
No,
it hasn't.
and aren't you guys gonna go for 10 days? It's grief porn.
Yes.
I'm trying to be respectful.
Well, the
I'm
thing
trying
is-
to
Oh my god!
How long did they
Y'all
put
have to get
Jesus out?
Arrested.
Hey,
Even Jesus was only hung out for 3 days.
no. Nobody.
We've got 10
Nobody's
days of
forcing
mourning.
you to stand in a 5-mile queue to get sad.
That's a fact.
Okay, so I want to say something really quick. I know she's a Dark Lord, but I respect the professor of dark arts, Theresa May. She stood in line. She stood in line to see the Queen and cried. And you know what? I believe her when she cried. I really respect Theresa May. She could have jumped line like all the other MPs. She could have used her
No, she
privilege.
couldn't.
And
Yeah,
she
I need to
didn't.
know, how did Boris Johnson?
I love Theresa May.
If you've been watching
absolute hero.
any of
Absolute
this,
hero.
any of the live coverage, and there is no reason why any of you should have done that, because hey ho, this is not North Korea. You're not obliged to watch any of this. You don't have to be sad if you don't want to be. But if you watch it, and I find this very interesting. I think at the present time, the queue is about 4.5 miles long.
Yeah.
That's a long queue. They're doing that willingly, despite what you think. They
Yeah.
don't have to be there. Now, if you do watch the live stuff, what you'll see is that, and by the end of this is going to be millions of people who've done it. Each person, when they move forward, they'll have, and it's not a rule, but they know what to do. They'll have maybe 3 or 5 seconds to pay their respect in whichever way they choose. Doesn't mean do a religious thing, do a personal thing. They do it, they move on. And there are millions of people doing that, and they're not, despite what Americans think, or some British people, they're not being forced to do that. It's a choice.
Yeah, but Theresa May is a man of the people because she stood in line like everybody else. So I respect her for
Did you
it.
just call Theresa May a man of the people?
Absolutely. I love her for it.
This
I'm not
is
sure if that was a
this is
half
sounding a bit
insult or
trumpy.
not.
Are you accusing her of being a man?
No, it's a phrase. Grow up,
All
like
right.
you always say. Grow up. Being a man of the people, you know. I knew
I'm
that
sorry,
wasn't
are
going
you
to
telling
go
me
over
grow
well.
up? Are you
No.
telling me to grow up, you perpetual 9-year-old?
I'm telling Stool.
Okay, well, Stool can't grow up. Have we not figured out by now that he's the literal embodiment of Peter Pan?
Perpetual
I need
39-year-old.
to point an important thing out because
No, Artie, you're a perpetual 80-year-old the way you complain.
Hey, get off my lawn!
Ew, I remember thinking that.
I'm still slightly amazed that Mike recognized something that none of us British did. So I'm very, very proud of him about the sauce thing. That is so important. I still am amazed and slightly, shocked. Well done. But I'm looking at Artie now, and I find this to be quite funny because we're talking about how shit Britain and British people are. On my screen, bear in mind I've got bad eyes, he looks like a fucking 1950s British person who went around colonising.
No, you know what Artie looks like?
My name is Bruce, and all my friends' names are Bruce.
Artie, no, you know what Artie looks like? You know what Artie looks like? The old man from Jurassic Park. That's what Artie looks like right now.
I look like the old man from Walking Dead.
Artie, do you know what a...
Shut up, Herschel.
I don't think the young people will understand
Not
this
that
word.
one.
Do you know what a pith... Artie, do you know what a pith helmet is?
Yes.
Yeah, the kids won't know.
It's the helmet you pith in.
That's the one. I think we need to get you a pith helmet.
He's fucking wearing one.
Google it if you're not sure, side chat. Google
That's right.
pith helmet.
Will is wearing one.
Oh my god, he is.
I was waiting to see how long you would notice. You are blind. You are blind. You are so blind. You don't. This room is bigger on the inside. You do not know what I have in here.
You're like Genie's bottle over there.
But
Welcome to Will's TARDIS.
we've got time for one more story.
Damn, just in time.
What have people been told to stop leaving school?
I know.
Stop
I know.
leaving.
I know this one.
I need more context. Can I go first? Say the question again, please.
What have people been told? What have mourners been told to stop leaving?
Is it about plastic around the flowers?
No.
No.
No, it's dumber than that.
No, because they think the queen is Jesus. So they're
Is it an object?
Yes.
Oh,
Objects.
Whose dog is barking?
Why
Artie?
does Artie know the answer?
It's the neighbor's
already?
dog.
Oh, I totally
not.
know. Come on, save one for
My
later.
dogs are right there.
Artie, control your animals.
Oh, you gave it away.
Quit not barking.
Oh yes, sandwiches.
No, they think
And Paddington.
They think the queen. No, it's funny at first because they think
Sandwiches. Okay, the Paddington bear, that's kind of cute, but the sandwiches?
no, but they think the queen's gonna get hungry up there in heaven. So she needs a sandwich.
Oh,
They're
not
Marmite
seen-
sandwiches.
Ugh.
If you people still haven't seen the famous video that she did during her jubilee, you'll understand why I say sandwiches, because it's a true thing that people have been leaving marmalade sandwiches.
Yeah, because we finally figured out what she's been carrying in her purse after all these years. I've been wondering. I'm not even from your country.
We thought she was picking her own watercress. Wrong.
I thought she at least had a 45 in there.
Oh dear. But yeah.
Is the problem with the sandwiches that they attract wildlife? I didn't read the article.
You have no idea. I'm sitting here because I can't sleep at night. Okay, so your morning is my night. I'm watching this, and I'm like, people legitimately think that she's Jesus.
Yeah.
That she's up there looking down on a cloud, eating marmalade sandwiches.
Jesus was a dude, right?
They're gonna stay there and rot.
Yes.
And attract rats. And so that people have been asked, okay, we've got enough Paddington bears and marmalade sandwiches now. Can you stop, please?
What we really need is more flowers.
Yeah.
No, but they also said, please give them the homeless shelters. And, at a certain point, people are going to get tired of marmalade sandwiches.
It is curious that they didn't just pick it up and take it to a fucking food pantry somewhere. Look,
I think
we're not responsible for what got put in this, so take your own chances. But here's an
for
option.
the benefit of Mike's viewers, I do think we need a bit of context here, because there are some people out there who haven't got a clue what we're talking about. So you Google it on the YouTubes, or you YouTube it on the Googles, I don't know. But
Something like
that video that she made on back in June. It was really fucking awesome. It really was. So the context here is marmalade sandwiches,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cute.
I can't even watch it. It'll make me cry at this point.
But the Queen met Paddington Bear for about
Such a
2
girl.
minutes, and so mourners have been leaving. Can we stop now, please?
I thought it was hilarious. That means there were so many they actually had to announce it on the news.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a reason they didn't drag her body to Canada and Australia?
Is there a reason that you're still talking?
To be fair, they did the same thing with Abraham Lincoln, and that's
Did
before refrigerator units.
I know. He went coast to coast.
Yeah, places he had never even been.
In 1860, what? 60? When did he die? 1868.
Alexa, what year did Abraham Lincoln die?
1865.
Abraham Lincoln died on April 15th, 1865,
Jesus
at the
Christ.
age of 56 years.
What kind of Americans are you? You don't know when Lincoln died.
What show was playing at the Ford Theater?
Oh, damn it! I used to know this.
Doesn't matter. He didn't see the end.
Oi! You're dead.
Nobody saw the ending of that fucking play that night. That's all I know.
They were playing the producers.
I've been in the theater.
You know what?
Second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Book of Mormon.
You know what? You want to go for a screwed up joke? Let's go for a screwed up joke. You guys know Joss's favorite restaurant? Five Guys.
Do you know what, Mike?
Oh.
Do you know what's hilarious is that there's so much that has gone on that we haven't even touched the rumbling, bumbling Liz Truss.
You know, I've been
Let's touch her.
I've been going through absolute hell because Mike Slacker hasn't been doing his streams, and so I've got nowhere to
You know what?
vent
Stuhl,
my
leave
anger.
Mike alone. Bullying everybody here is my job.
While
Yes, this
we're
is
on
true.
the subject, I did tell you that I would participate, and if that's all it took to get Will, I would happily participate.
Well, you know what, not Will. What's your name? Artie.
Party.
Here's the thing. Artie's lovely. I adore him. But with my bad eyesight right now, he literally does look like somebody from a kind of Indiana Jones film. And he's going to... I don't know if he's going to kill the Nazis or be one. I have no idea.
It's so weird, because I'm in Indiana.
So,
There you go.
Because he spends whether he can.
We all look like that here.
Jones about this.
Yeah, this floppy hat looks like a fedora, but it isn't.
No, you look like the old man from Jurassic
I
Park.
look like
and
a
you were so
fedora.
busy about whether you could that you didn't stop and think about whether you should.
I don't give a fuck.
We know.
I look
Or
better
if
than
you don't
Stuhl.
control that
I feel
animal.
like that's a thing. It's not my fucking dog, woman.
Well, then go bang on somebody's door with an axe.
I don't know if it's the Great Dane, the Mastiff, or the Mastiff Great Dane.
Well, hang on. Let's see if it starts barking again. If it's a Great Dane, you should be able to feel the sound vibration.
Trust me, you can't tell the difference between the three of them.
You know what's really funny? All my neighbors own cats.
I think what
My
would have
sister
We
been
don't have any
very,
birds,
very
but we got a lot of
interesting-
cats.
My
So-
sister is a
I-
pug.
The
I
horse is
have
gonna
a-
speak.
I have a question. I have a question for Mike.
yeah, go on.
In your country,
Yeah.
do people care, or is this forced mourning?
I think people care.
Right?
And this is just a question from an outsider. I'm not even trying to be
Like
controversial.
peer pressure force, not like legally forced.
No, because like
Put your hand
aren't
out,
your grocery stores closed? Aren't your like?
A lot of stores are closing on Monday. Yeah. Okay, Stuhl's got his hand up like a good boy. So,
Okay, the word stool and
What'd you-
good boy.
What did you say that salute was called? It's the what kind of salute?
I knew that was coming from you.
Oh my god.
I didn't see it. I was.
Hey, Skid Crusher. Hey, Skid Crusher.
hey,
Can I
Welcome.
answer the question, Mike, if you don't mind?
No.
go on. Please do.
You're sure. Tell me to shut up if you want to. I've got to get this into your
Got
head
5 minutes.
because it's kind of important. It is actually very important. Despite what you're being told and what you're hearing, nobody's being forced to do anything. There's no law, rule, guideline whatsoever. Nothing. It's a personal choice. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, don't. The reason that there is you mentioned the shops closing, so on the day of her funeral, which will be Monday next week.
Yeah, I believe Monday the 19th.
It's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
Well, big deal. That's really not a fucking big deal. Shops tend to close on a bank holiday. Not a big deal. And guess what? If you're hungry, shop the day before. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when people get mad about supermarkets closing. Even here in America, like, if you know in advance, plan ahead, dumbass.
Exactly.
I try not to trash other people's culture. That's why I ask questions instead of saying, "Oh, that seems dumb."
Well, yeah. What you've got to understand is it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
That's not a weird thing
Same
that's
thing.
never happened before.
In
It
America,
really is.
everything's closed on our holidays as well.
But,
Same.
but not necessarily. The bank holidays are pretty much just the banks. It's the
Yeah, but our growth, like here in where I live
Yeah,
on
but
Thanksgiving.
the same concept applies here for different stuff like
Yeah, but
Memorial Day, Labor Day.
well,
we
no,
just don't call it a bank holiday. Only
well,
the banks call it
well,
bank.
no, that's not the same thing at all. It's not what a bank holiday is. A
But
bank
like
holiday is the same kind of holiday that our banks take. It's a secondary holiday that most people don't celebrate, but banks use it as an opportunity to not pay their staff.
Mike, do you remember the last time you were given an extra bank holiday?
No, I don't actually.
Think back to June.
The Platinum Jubilee.
You're literally demonstrating my point here. It's so not important that Mike can't remember. It's not an important thing.
I like
we were
to.
given
I like
one
to.
back in June, Mike, for the Jubilee.
Yeah.
Platyjubes. I liked it better when everyone called it platyjubes. Just because
And
it
all
sounded
it
dirty.
meant was that people got an extra long weekend.
Yeah.
That's all it meant. People were not arguing and fighting over this. I mean, people who have to work and have no choice in the matter, they got a day off. Brilliant. Not a big deal. And that's all that's happening now.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
No. And on that bombshell, we're going to say good night. Good night to everyone watching at home, and good night to Will, Stall, Artie, and Signese, and to
See you good night. We get to leave here, go home, and party.
and to Nell, and yeah, thanks for watching.
I like Artie's hands.
Stroking a beard.
And we'll be back. We'll be back next week for.
We're all literally doing our royal waves here. This is awesome.
We'll be back next week for
I think
more
Artie
political
does it best.
satire.
Artie does it like he's having.
I put a lot of time into it.
Does anybody have the Disney parade wave perfected?
There's some gynecology going on there, Artie. I love your royal wave.
Anyway, good night, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Rock out with your clock out.
Oh my God! Stop that.